it after, and I was like, maybe she was just cruising for some reason. I didn't know. They're like, it doesn't actually matter what it was.
You know, I went from being like more or less homeless, unemployed, broke, and just like very early transition, like not in a good or safe place, to moving to Salem, like living with my partner with whom I want to spend the rest of my life, and getting a job.
It's actually a really funny story. Like when they opened up the mug, I would go there with my friends all the time because I love the space. And one time I got breakfast there and I was like talking to my server. She was like, oh my God, yeah, absolutely. You should like put your application in. So, and you can put me as a reference. So I put her as a reference. And like a year later, I was looking for a job and the mug called me up and I went down for an interview and they interviewed me and they're like, okay, cool, you're gonna be a cook. And I was like, all right. Like maybe a few months in, the server that had originally helped me get the job, she wasn't working there anymore, but she came to help us for October because it was crazy. And she comes in and I introduced myself to her and I'm like, hey, I'm Nolan, like you helped me get this job. And my boss looks at me and he was like, I thought you were her friend, like that's why I hired you. And I was like, nope, sorry. So I got hired by accident. And it was just kind of a like funny little accident that happened.
I couldn't find a job anywhere. My friend was the head chef, and they needed a dishwasher. So he worked there as a dishwasher. Now I'm lower middle management is what I like to call myself. I have 3 bosses. I have an owner, well, not my owner, but and then a general manager and an assistant general manager. So I guess I'm like a shift lead or whatever. I don't know, I think another like comparable city to Salem would be like Northampton. That has been a very lesbian-friendly city for like a long time. I was living there early transition, and I still couldn't get a job. Like I still got hassled in public, like even in a place like that.
I've been working on a concept like in my brain for the last 4 years. I have like a whole universe and historical background of like this world. I want to focus on like different perspectives, different stories, and kind of like channel what I've been learning from life like into a more like digestible, funky, kind of like cartoonish world. It's going to be like really light and fluffy and almost like rubber hose, like old Mickey Mouse cartoons. Like in contrast to that kind of cartoony style, I wanted to also like have very tangible themes of like people struggling with mental health and like people struggling with violence and stuff. And I want there to be like a weird contrast between what you see and what's actually happening. I didn't know anybody before I started working there. I met them all through the mug. And I like opened up a lot about like being a queer person, just being surrounded by these supportive people at the mug. I really feel like I belong with them. I feel like we're all kind of cut from something that's similar. We all have something that keeps us together. And we go through so much shit. People come here with like weirdness in their hearts. They're into how spooky and creepy it is. it has no expectations for itself. It's just made up on the fly, like all the time.
Witch trial just about to begin at the old town hall. Just 2 minutes till the town.
Someone's gonna come here because they want to learn about the witches and stuff. Maybe they'll end up learning about people who are persecuted in more contemporary American culture and be able to draw parallels between superstitious, uninformed hate and the things that leads to.
October hits and you have everything. You have families, you have like squares and weirdos. Like you can't tell what you're gonna see in October time. Everybody comes here. It's not a town anymore. It's like this crazy like event.
Hello. How you doing? How's it going? How you doing? My name's Croximus Squagmatic from the planet Scumtopia. Woo!
I came from England to see witches? Look, it's Michael Myers. Brooke, go say hi. Where? To Michael Myers.
As someone who looks a little different, when there are people from all over the country and all over the world who are kind of just treating your home like an amusement park, it ain't friendly all the time. And it can be hard because, like, you know, instead of being able to like confidently walk downtown with my head held high because I know that I'm like a member of the community and I see familiar faces and whatever, it's like now there are people staring, now there are people whispering, now there are people saying trans-misogynistic shit to me.
You have a space right here.
Going out and just feeling like I'm not a social pariah just for being who I am can make me feel real good. You know, it's kind of just like a buzz. It lasts.
I watch what my friends up front do every day and like put up with the people. I'd much rather go through like the physical challenges of the kitchen than like the psychological challenges of dealing with the people all day. At the end of every day, I have a rock, paper, scissors tournament with my coworker. We have a tally of whose wins and losses on the fridge. Like, it's a good time. Tom has really helped train me to become a great rock, paper, scissors champion, but he himself has it like locked down. I can't get in his brain. Like when you're getting ready to throw your sign, you have to like feel what they're thinking, and you end up cycling through everything, and then you feel in your heart they're throwing scissors, so you throw a rock. Me and Tom love discussing like the origins of words, how words become the words they are. And this one day, I was just like, yo, Tom, you ever think about like the correlation between the word manic and panic and how that suffix A-N-I-C only exists in like those two words? And he was literally like, I was just thinking about that.
there's no like gay bar. There's like one like I think kind of like token queer night at one of the bars in town. But maybe it's because there doesn't really have to be that kind of thing because that's just like Salem. I got very much integrated into this town, like not only with like minimal pushback from who I am, but almost like intentional support.
It's just that everyone in this area is kind of more of an ally, and I felt that I was safe and I could be myself, and I started like exploring how I want to be and who I want to like be and feel like I don't have to like mask anything at all and just be me. I'm going to New Orleans. I've saved up a lot of money. I want to go to New Orleans and like get a part-time job so I have time to myself, and I will work on like, I want to publish a comic book. That's what I want to do. It's a story about a world that like falls apart and falls into madness. And some people think it's not worth trying to fix, and some people do, and some people don't care and just kind of float around and enjoy like this crazy post-apocalyptic kind of world. You know, I'm gonna have like hippos running around and talking and stuff like that. But then like what's happening is like people are dealing with problems and like trying to live and like trying to make things okay or make things worse. Like bad, real things are gonna happen to these like silly cartoons.
Like the history of this city is such like a dark, horrible thing, and that's why it's known for being what it is. And it's like almost in the face of that or in mockery of that, like now it's going to be like the opposite of that. Like this is a place where it's you're gonna be like safe from that kind of persecution.
You try to deal with how fucked up things are and how like crazy life is and how like intense it is emotionally by kind of supplementing it with fun, and you try to like make fun of life